All right, welcome back. Or if this is your first time here, welcome to my Epics Buddies, the podcast. And I say podcast because there's other mediums to hear this information, like going to the blog, which is what you're looking at. And the blog is at myfxbuddies.blogspot.com. And I know that's kind of a lot. And I know sometimes it's hard to understand me. So, wherever you are enjoying this content, whether it be Apple Podcasts, MyFX Buddies, Spotify.com has audio and video, MyFX Buddies, Rumble.com, MyFX Buddies. There's a couple of other places I just can't think of right now. But wherever you are, if there's an open, more info, intro, description, something like that, click on that. And in there should be a link to the blog. What's that noise? Anyway, there's some weird noise. Okay, hopefully you guys can't hear it. Okay, so today is Thursday, January 9th, and this should upload for Thursday, January 9th. This is only news articles from the 9th, which was a jam-packed day. Not anything exciting like that's gonna take us to the bank tomorrow, but Parliament is coming back to work. Sadani did go to Iran and he met with all the people he should meet with, but I don't have any articles about that because it's whatever they put in the articles is just fluff, right? We know they talked about security. We know they talked about the brotherly countries, helping each other resolve the issues of the region, yeah, we know that they talked about that. I want the real good stuff, right? Which we won't get. But anyway, so he did meet with Khomeini, and another group, of people, but the language in Iran is so different than the language in Iraq and even Kurdistan. I don't know how to say these names, so whatever. So that did happen. Most of the news this morning was they did a ceremony for 103 years. Oh, I can show you guys 103 years of the police department. Let me show you this graphic they have for them. It's so neat. I think it's neat. Okay. And then look at that. Let me make it a little bigger. So, they have one of their police vehicles, and so this is like the regular security people, and then he's got a little bit more, does he not? I don't know, but look at this guy. He's got the full military. That's probably their riot gear, and then they have, like, for those who aren't looking, you're just listening. They have an image of a fully, like I said, probably what they call their riot gear. And then they have the Iraqi flag, but it's like a ribbon and it's wrapped around this guy, which it's an image, right? It's probably not a real guy. I don't know why that 9 is there. But anyway, so that was on the news. That was much of the news this morning. Also, they're even re-showing it right now as I speak to you guys virtually. They picked a president in Lebanon, and I'm like, who cares? Why are we watching this, right? But apparently they care because, like I said, they're running it now. And this guy, he was just the army brigadier, blah, 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 right? So even one of the articles is titled From the Barracks to the Presidential Palace. And he looks like a major, commander, sergeant, all of that. Real big guy, big size guy. Anyway, so we approve of him. There's an article, Biden approving of him and someone else. But anyway, so that's what a lot of the news was about in the morning. And then we got this birth of a new banking entity in Iraq. But you know, something that's sensational means nothing, right? And then I also think, so that's just the short title. The full title is Birth of a New Banking Entity in Iraq, a government advisor, which Mohammed Saleh, right, reveals the details to the news. So something this serious, you would think Sudani or the CBI would address, but no, that's why I think Mohammed Saleh is going to be the one to announce when they change the rate. I really do. Anyway, if they have any kind of announcement. So he revealed a study being conducted by a global consulting firm commissioned by the state to restructure Ramadan and Rashid banks, which constitute 85% of the banking market in the country, and those are state banks. So just if you don't remember, they attempted to merge them, and that didn't work somehow. So then it seemed most of the focus was the Ramadan Bank. They started with that one. So he explained the two banks suffer from a historical legacy of challenges, which requires a comprehensive reform plan to reposition them within the map of effective and efficient banking work. The study aims to establish a new banking entity specializing in government banking operations to meet the government's needs exclusively. That sounds interesting, right? This entity will contribute to achieving the goals of the Unified Treasury Account. We haven't heard about that in a while, which is a crucial tool for regulating cash flows for public finances. So I'm wondering if this is like a treasury. They're going to be setting up a treasury like we have, which seems to have been overpowered by the Federal Reserve for now, right? But I wonder if that's what they're doing. Anyway, so he pointed out the study focuses on evaluating the legal status of the two banks, including property rights, evaluating assets and liabilities, and studying the requirements of a strategic partner if necessary, with the focus on developing the two entities to operate according to advanced financial technology that meets the requirements of the national banking market. Yeah, so then there's a little bit more about that, but it's just interesting. So here, they talk about Ernst & Young. They'll probably be the ones doing the auditing. But here's the last paragraph. The Prime Minister explained, so how do we get to the Prime Minister? He had a meeting with Ernst & Young, and I guess they decided to throw that in here. The Prime Minister explained that the percentage of completion of the project to restructure Ramadan Bank has reached its final stages, stressing that it will enter into force within the next few days. Within the framework of a plan that has been studied and implemented according to the established standards and specifications. Okay, and then here's the article about the meeting. Sudani confirms progress on the project to restructure Ramadan and Rashid banks. So there they are, they're meeting. All right. So if you want to read that, you can read that also. I thought they said they were 80% complete, but well, if they're going into business next week, they're probably more than 80% done. All right, next thing. This was a pretty big article over there. Central bank issues strict instructions to Iraqi banks. So that's the title. This is on the CBI website and in the regular news. So then it says, somewhere it goes straight to private banks. Okay, here. To all licensed private banks. So, I don't think this is the first time this has been posted. It does say something about 2024. But what this is, you can read it if you want. It says they're directed to have a price ceiling for for services to citizens. But I think it is, and now remember, the private banks were the last banks to get on board with all the new regulations, because the private banks were where the rich people banked, and they didn't want to follow all the, going through the U.S., going through Federal Reserve and all of that. But finally, after a while, they got on board with that. So this could be a re-release of this information. But what it basically says is they have to cap their fees. They have to display their fees everywhere, on windows, in the hallways. What else did it say? Digital screens. So right here, number 2 talks about where they have to display the fees and commissions. So I, with my dinar goggles on, would like to think they're getting ready. They're getting ready to have a rush of customers that are going to need services and accounts, and they want them, excuse me, to charge a fair rate, and they want the rate to be easily seen by the people. So yeah, so I was happy. I'm actually happy to see that. Right. Oh, okay. So the words are for the first page. So I was able to translate the first page. The second page, I didn't even try it. Because it's a table and it's numbers. It has a lot of numbers, and tables and numbers don't usually translate well to English. So yeah. Here's an article. The governor of the Central Bank of Iraq acknowledges the existence of official outlets that charge unlicensed commissions. So this is like a summary of the article that came out yesterday. I think it was yesterday. And I was saying they know that there's outlets that are doing dollar transfers. They're not licensed correctly, and they're charging fees, and this is what's making the parallel market. And I said they probably know where they are and who they are, and for some reason they're still letting them operate. So not sure what's going on, but here's, even this website wanted to point out, right? As long as they have these, well, actually, I think they're going to end up distributing lower denominations. So that's probably why they keep them around too. But whatever. Here is Samir al-Nusari, and he explains the new mechanism for external transfers after the platform is closed. So, he says in a televised interview that is not normal for the central bank or the U.S. Federal Reserve to carry out executive procedures, but rather the task of central banks. And the electronic platform was a stage in this direction. So if you still don't understand the new procedure, read this article, and it may help. Yeah. So there's no new information in here. I have highlighted the parts that I think are helpful. Yeah. And see, like this right here, he stressed that the exchange rate announced as the parallel rate does not reflect the price reality. Firstly, because Iraq does not have the parallel market situation. Clearly they do, because they put the prices out 3 times a day. They know who's selling the dollars in the parallel market. So yeah, I don't know what that is right there. Maybe he's oblivious to them, because I'm sure he's rich. I'm sure he's a rich person, and probably doesn't go around the city, right? But I thought that was interesting that he would say that when there clearly is a parallel market. Or I don't know, maybe he's telling the truth and everyone else is wrong. Okay, so I think he talks about, does he talk about the hoarded money? No, but he does say the selling window is dedicated to securing the Iraqi dinar. So the focus is moving more to dinar, which is good. Here's my one commercial. If you like what I do, and if it's not a problem, buy me a coffee. You can click the link here or scan the QR code. All right. Oh, this is the one. This actually, I think this is the best article of the day, but who would really read, someone would look at that and go, oh, how boring. I don't want to listen to that. That's boring. But it's all boring. But anyway, economists. Oh, and I still have not seen any articles about that show. The show where they said the banks are waiting for the hoarded cash. That man has not been in public. There's no articles about it. So that was a message strictly for the citizens. And see, that's how I know it's hard for some people to believe that Sadani said, oh, I'm going to increase your purchasing power to the citizens, because we don't see it in writing, but they don't put everything that they say, and they shouldn't, right? They shouldn't. So that's why, if there are just the things that are really, I don't want to say skeptical, but I can't think of a suspicious. No, I don't want to say that either. But just yeah, there's things that they're gonna communicate to their citizens that they're not gonna put in articles for all the world to see. Unfortunately, but that's the truth. All right, so this article says electronic financial transactions save Iraq from cash shortage. So I still think there is a liquidity issue, and maybe it's because they're holding off, hoping they can change the rate. Tomorrow's the 10th. I don't know. Um, then that was my day, right? Where I said, if they don't change the rate by the 10th, there might be a problem. So we got one more day. Um, so he's just saying that there's a balance, right, of people using cash and the electronic cards. Then he adds, these transactions make it unnecessary for governments to print currency continuously, as this process is financially costly. Iraq prints some denominations domestically, and other denominations of currency are printed abroad, and printing them costs the financial value of this currency. All right, then. One more little paragraph here. He explained that the move towards electronic transactions requires intensive education in order to withdraw the cash mass from the street and to transform transactions, especially large amounts, through electronic cards. So see, they're reaching out to the people saying, bring your money in. But this economist is not the guy that was on that TV show. Consequently, the citizen will not be forced to withdraw large amounts from banks in order to buy a property, car, etc., but will use his card to transfer money to the other party, which ensures the safety. There it is. Safe and convenient, right? That's how they trap us. Ensures the safety of financial transactions and prevents the cash mass from being wasted and taken out of the banking framework. So, all right, here's an article about Iraq and Jordan. I just thought it was interesting. It says they forge stronger ties to boost regional stability and economic growth. And actually, Jordan is benefiting from all these ventures that it's doing with Iraq. Remember, a lot of the exchangers and smaller banks were complaining that Jordan was getting all the action, and they didn't appreciate it. So then that's when they made us a way for the smaller banks and smaller traders and merchants to be able to participate in the new system. But yeah, so you could read about that if you like. Here's a meeting. They're talking about the 2025 elections for them. All right, then I think, and actually, I wasn't even going to read that, okay? I wasn't even going to read that because I don't want to be here for their election. But I said, well, maybe it'll have a date of the election, right? So I'm reading it, and then you get down in there, and lo and behold, they start talking about cash liquidity and financing ministries and governance from the investment budget and the regional development budget were discussed. So it turned out to be an interesting article after all. All right. So you can't always, and even for my blogs, there's different reasons why I pick the first article. It has to have a picture, so it'll have a thumbnail. I try to get something that's interesting so people will at least want to open. You know, they may not listen to the whole blog, but at least they'll open it. And the first article may not be the best one. All right, so here, House of Representatives agenda for next Sunday, but it means this Sunday coming, but there's nothing on there that we focus on, but the one for Monday has the second reading. I'm a little worried that it's the second to the last issue because sometimes things get a little heated in Parliament and they have a fight, right? And then they leave. But it says right there, report and discussion of the second reading of the draft law. So hopefully they'll do that. That's set for Monday. And then here's some articles about the Kurds. I want to focus on this because I think this is interesting. So this guy, this is nephew Barzani, right? He's the prime minister and he's the president. But it doesn't matter because Daddy Barzani is the one that runs things. But anyway, so he's scheduled to come to Baghdad next week, right? But look who is meeting. This guy right here is the Iraqi president. He has 4 names. Rashid Abdul Latif. What's the other one? Jamal. 3 out of 4 ain't bad, right? That's my phone. Okay, so are they in Kurdistan? President received today. Yeah, so if he received him, that means he's at his house. So, and remember, the president of Iraq is always a Kurd. So these are 2 Kurds talking to each other. And this guy is much younger. This guy is funny. Oh my gosh. Anyway, yeah. So look how seriously he's listening to him. Hopefully that's a good sign. So I don't see anything where they agreed on their government that they were supposed to meet today. but I don't think they did. Um, so, and I, I was gonna say, I normally don't think it's important, but if Iraqi news, like the Baghdad news, is covering this, it might be. It might be important. So that's why I decided to read these. But yeah, so whatever and I still, for the life of me, don't understand why they can't all meet at the same time. That leads to suspicions right there. Okay, we're all discussing the same thing. We all live in the same country. Why is Pavel meeting with the president today, but nephew Barzani is going to meet probably with Sadani next week? Why don't they all just meet together? I don't know. It would seem that would be more productive, right? But yeah, that's why I'm just a citizen of a country and I don't run a country. And then here is the president again talking to this guy, confirming coordination to legislate and approve laws that have direct relevance to citizens' lives. And I think Mandelawi is the deputy House Speaker, the first deputy House Speaker. So lots of meetings, right? Boring, lots of meetings. This seemed to come out of the blue. The Pope called Sadani, and he's inviting him to the World Leaders Summit on Children's Rights. So I like that it's a world leader, right? World Leader Summit, and they thought to invite Sadani. And they're very proud of this. It's been all over the news. They've been showing it on the TV, so they're really proud of that in their country. And then to finish out, there's 2 articles about the new, what is his position? President-elect. I need to cough. Hold on. All right. So, will Iraq be part of the new U.S. policy HE double hockey sticks? So, because you know what he said, right? So you might want to read that. And then this is good also. Iran's motives for agreeing with the T-Man. Yep, I totally agree. I apologize. I need to respond to this right quick. All right. Um, is it regime survival or economic situation? So it'll be interesting to see if they'll show us the side meetings that Sadani has over the next couple of days. But so if you guys listen to me and I have said it seems this new president is a softer, gentler Irani regime, and they could be going along just to get along, right? And we'll see. There's this lady that was set to be, I don't want to say, let me see, liquidated. There's another word they use also. Because she took her headdress off at the airport. And guess what? They're going to let her go. They're not going to, that's usually punished by you exit the land of the living. They're not going to do that to her. So, and I don't want to say fear, but is that going to prompt other women to go do it? And will they not be so lucky? Right? So, I don't know. But that's a big, big move for them to not to let her still be here. All right, so you can read that. This is it has a little bit of history. It talks about the original. Oh, and it's so funny. Okay, there's some guy who keeps trying to get the T-Man to answer like military questions, right? Um, and this one that it was something like, "Do you have any words for Khomeini?" And he said, "Yeah, I wish him well," right? So they showed that. I saw that in Iraq. But even though they dub over it, so I don't hear the English. So then I have to go find it in English. But anyway, and then this article came out on the same day, or maybe, oh no, because they're ahead of us. So this article came out, and then that guy asked them that question, and then I just thought that was really funny. But there is some rustlings of aggressive maneuvers. Yeah, I guess now that the holidays are over, or maybe since the T-Man's been certified, Netanyahu and his group are again talking about aggressive maneuvers against Iran. Yeah. So, but anyway, all right. So that's it. Yeah. Again, if you want to go read those articles, someone left a comment that I talk funny, and so it helps people to follow along better and to understand me more if you go to the blog, because I put the video on the blog. So then you can read along and follow exact where I am on the blog, and people tell me that helps. All right. So thank you for listening, watching. I hope you find this helpful. So there's no bad news. There's no backward steps. There's no bad news. We're just waiting. The next thing that I will look for is if they do indeed meet on Monday and do the second reading of the budget. Well, the budget schedules and the amendments to the budget. That would be awesome. Other than that, tomorrow's Friday. It'll probably be slow. So yeah, so wherever you are listening or watching this, if there's a join, follow, subscribe, like type of button, take the necessary steps to activate that, because I don't upload regularly. And that way, if all things are working as they're supposed to, when I do upload, you will be notified. All right. Thank you for all the great comments. Someone challenged me to go live, have a YouTube live. I'm like, I don't think so. Oh, I can barely focus this way. Could you imagine me trying to do a live? Maybe I could get my son. He could moderate, maybe. I don't know. I'll think about it. I'm more comfortable this way. Anyway, so yeah, thank you. Accumulate while we wait for the rate to appreciate. Don't miss any meals and pay all your bills. Be thankful that you are alive. Be thankful for what you have. Because a lot of people don't wake up in the morning, and a lot of people around the world lose what they have during the day. All right. Enjoy the rest of your morning, night, noon, whatever time frame you're enjoying this content. And until next time.